The mockery of wisdom is the pastime of fools, is more than just a pointed observation, it's a timeless critique of human nature. Wisdom, characterized by thoughtfulness, depth, and foresight, has often been undermined, ridiculed, or dismissed by those who lack understanding. The very people who could benefit most from wisdom are frequently the ones who scorn it. This tendency is not just a social irritant but a significant barrier to personal growth, intellectual development, and societal progress. History offers numerous examples of wisdom being mocked, usually with disastrous consequences. Take Socrates, one of the greatest philosophers of ancient Greece. He was known for his questioning approach to knowledge, encouraging people to think critically and seek truth. Yet, for his efforts, he was condemned to death by the Athenian state, accused of corrupting the youth and questioning traditional values. His wisdom, which aimed to elevate society, was dismissed by those who felt threatened by it, and Athens suffered intellectually for its decision. Centuries later, during the scientific revolution, Galileo Galilei faced similar scorn. Despite providing evidence for the heliocentric model of the solar system, which placed the sun at the center rather than the earth, Galileo was mocked and persecuted by religious and political authorities who clung to outdated beliefs. Wisdom that challenged the prevailing worldview was met with mockery and denial, delaying scientific advancement. These historical examples reflect how societies, when led by the intellectually complacent, often resist wisdom, treating it as a threat rather than an asset. The mockery of wisdom can be explained by a tendency called cognitive bias, specifically the Dunning-Kruger effect. This phenomenon, first identified in a 1999 study by psychologists David Dunning and Justin Kruger, shows that people with low ability or knowledge in a certain area often overestimate their competence. In contrast, those with true wisdom or expertise may downplay their abilities. This creates an ironic situation: the less people know, the more likely they are to mock or dismiss wisdom, believing they already possess enough understanding. For these individuals, wisdom represents complexity and ambiguity, two things they instinctively avoid. Furthermore, psychological studies suggest that wisdom often involves delaying gratification and embracing uncertainty, concepts that can make people uncomfortable. In a world increasingly dominated by instant gratification and binary thinking, wisdom, with its call for patience and nuance, can seem out of place. Thus, fools mock what they don't understand, feeling more secure in their oversimplified views. The consequences of mocking wisdom are not merely theoretical. In the modern era, this dynamic plays out in the rejection of expert advice on critical issues. Take climate change, for example. Despite overwhelming scientific consensus, a 2021 Pew Research Center survey found that 25% of Americans still believe climate change is exaggerated or not happening at all. By ridiculing the wisdom of climate scientists, these individuals delay action that could mitigate long-term environmental and economic damage. The mockery of wisdom, in this case, has literal costs, escalating natural disasters, loss of biodiversity, and billions of dollars in damages. Similarly, during the COVID-19 pandemic, public health experts faced ridicule and skepticism despite offering life-saving advice. A 2020 Gallup poll found that trust in science was deeply polarized, with many dismissing expert recommendations on masks, vaccines, and social distancing. The mockery of wisdom, in this instance, contributed to unnecessary loss of life and prolonged societal disruption. On a practical level, mocking wisdom is counterproductive. Wisdom is earned through experience, reflection, and learning from past mistakes. To dismiss it is to reject the accumulated knowledge that could guide better decision-making in both personal and societal contexts. Common sense tells us that embracing wisdom, rather than mocking it, offers a path to clearer thinking and better outcomes. Whether in relationships, business, or governance, wisdom should be sought, not derided. The mockery of wisdom is the pastime of fools, reveals an enduring truth about human behavior. From Socrates to climate scientists, those who bring wisdom to the forefront are often met with derision from those who fail to grasp its value. Psychological biases like the Dunning-Kruger effect, combined with a desire for instant gratification, drive this mockery, leading to long-term consequences for individuals and society. Ultimately, the rejection of wisdom is not just a missed opportunity for growth, it's a path to greater ignorance and suffering. Wisdom's mockers, ironically, are the ones most in need of its guidance.